Computerized Adaptive Testing, or CAT, is how the CISSP exam measures your real professional competence. Instead of giving everyone the same fixed set of questions, the exam adapts to you. After every question, the system recalculates your ability level and then selects the next question accordingly. If you answer correctly, the difficulty increases. If you miss one, it adjusts downward. Think of it like a smart load balancer for exam questions, always routing you to the most accurate test of your skill. The key point to remember is this: the exam is not trying to trick you. It's trying to measure your knowledge precisely as a security professional. Let's talk about the exam structure and logistics, because this directly affects how you manage time and stress in the CSSP CAT exam. You have a strict 3-hour time limit. No extensions, no pauses. Within that time, you'll see between 100 and 150 questions. The exam can actually end early if it becomes confident about your ability level. Out of those questions, 25 are unscored. You won't know which ones they are, so treat every question as if it counts. To pass, you must achieve 700 out of 1,000, which represents a consistent level of professional competence across domains. And one critical rule: no backtracking. Once you submit an answer, it's final. This forces decisive, risk-based thinking, just like in real-world security decisions. Here's a high-level view of how the CAT engine works, and this is critical for understanding the CSSP mindset. The exam starts with a moderate difficulty question and assumes a provisional ability level for you as a candidate. From there, after every single answer, the CAT engine recalculates your ability using statistical confidence models. Based on that recalculation, it selects the next best question to refine its measurement. Harder if you're doing well, easier if you're not. Think of it like a feedback control loop in a network system, constantly tuning for accuracy. The key idea to remember is this: CAT is not counting how many questions you get right. It's measuring confidence in your ability level as a security professional. Let's look at the CAT question flow and adaptive logic, because this explains why the exam feels different from any traditional test. When you answer a question correctly, the CAT engine responds by giving you a harder question. If you answer incorrectly, the next question becomes easier. This adjustment happens one question at a time, continuously refining the system's confidence in your skill level. There is no fixed question order and no predefined path through the exam. Think of it like an adaptive firewall policy. Each decision influences the next rule applied. That's why consistency matters more than streaks. The CAT engine is always tuning itself to find your true professional ability level. About difficulty-based scoring, because this is where many candidates misunderstand the CAT exam. In CAT, not all questions are equal. Questions are weighted by difficulty. Harder questions carry more scoring value, while easier questions contribute less toward your final ability estimate. So answering a difficult question correctly tells the engine a lot about your competence, much more than getting an easy one right. Think of it like privilege levels in access control. Admin actions prove more capability than basic user actions. Exam tip: 10 difficult correct answers can outweigh many easy ones. Focus on thinking clearly, not rushing for volume. ETs explain the 50% rule, because this is why the CISSP exam feels so hard. The CAT engine deliberately targets questions where you have about a 50% chance of answering correctly. Why? Because questions you're guaranteed to get right or wrong don't measure your ability accurately. The best measurement happens right at the edge of your knowledge. So yes, the exam intentionally pushes your limits. Feeling unsure, second-guessing, or thinking this is tough is completely normal. Think of it like stress testing a system. You only find true capacity under load. Here's the reassurance: if the exam feels hard, CAT is working exactly as designed. Now let's cover when the CAT exam actually ends, because this is controlled by 3 very specific rules. First is the confidence interval rule. If the CAT engine becomes statistically confident that your ability is clearly above or below the passing standard, the exam stops immediately. That's the ideal outcome. Second is the maximum length rule. If you reach 150 questions, the exam ends automatically, and your final ability estimate determines pass or fail. Third is the run out of time, or root rule. If time expires before the system reaches confidence, it evaluates your performance up to the last answered question. Key takeaway: the exam doesn't end randomly. It ends when the system has enough data to make a defensible decision about your competence. Let's break down the confidence interval rule, which is how CAT can end early. The system requires a minimum of 100 questions before it can evaluate you. After that, it continuously checks statistical confidence in your ability level. If the engine becomes 95% certain that you're either above or below the passing threshold, the exam ends immediately. Good news. Ending at 100 questions doesn't automatically mean a fail. You could pass if the system is confident enough in your ability. Think of it like a monitoring system that triggers an alert only when it's statistically certain. At the maximum length rule, which is what happens if the confidence interval rule hasn't triggered. If the system can't make a clear decision at 100 questions, the exam continues up to the maximum of 150 questions. At that point, your final ability midpoint is used to determine pass or fail. Important mindset shift. A longer exam does not mean you're failing. It just means the CAT engine needs more data to accurately assess your professional competence. Think of it like a performance test running additional cycles to get a precise measurement. Finally, let's cover the run out of time rule, which is all about time management. If your 3-hour limit expires, fewer than 100 questions answered automatic fail because the system doesn't have enough data to assess your ability. 100 or more questions answered, the engine reviews your last 75 scored questions and evaluates whether your ability stayed consistently above the passing line. Critical point: time management is mandatory. You must pace yourself to reach at least 100 questions while keeping accuracy high, just like prioritizing critical alerts in a live security environment. Here's a practical CAT time strategy to maximize your performance. On average, you have about 1 to 1.5 minutes per question, so pacing is key. Don't rush early questions. Remember, the CAT engine is just starting to gauge your ability. At the same time, avoid getting stuck too long on any single question later. Unlike traditional exams, spending extra minutes doesn't help the engine. It just risks running out of time. Rule of thumb: a steady, consistent pace beats raw speed. Think of it like monitoring multiple security events. Consistent attention across the board is more effective than frantic bursts. Start strong strategy, which can really influence your CAT trajectory. The first 20 to 30 questions are critical. They set the system's initial estimate of your ability. Read carefully, focus on keywords, and methodically eliminate obviously wrong answers. Trainer tip: early accuracy can actually shorten your exam because the CAT engine gains confidence faster when you demonstrate competence up front. Think of it like bootstrapping a network scan. The initial data points guide the rest of the process efficiently. Here's a crucial mindset for CISSP: think like a manager. Remember, CISSP is not a purely technical exam. Your focus should be on risk management, protecting people, safety, and critical assets first. Always aim for strategic, long-term solutions rather than quick technical fixes that don't address the bigger picture. When you approach questions, adopt a CISO or risk owner lens. Weigh impact, likelihood, and governance, and choose answers that reflect holistic, sustainable security decisions. Think of it like designing a security program, not just configuring a firewall. Common myths about the CAT exam include the belief that seeing question 101 indicates failure. Feeling lost means you're failing, and easy questions suggest poor performance. In reality, the CAT exam dynamically adjusts to your performance, ensuring a tailored assessment experience. Finally, let's cover psychological survival tips for the CAT exam. Expect uncertainty. The exam is designed to challenge you. Stay emotionally neutral. Don't let doubt or confidence swings affect your thinking. Forget previous questions and focus solely on the current one. The CAT engine only cares about each answer in context. Golden rule: tackle one question at a time. Treat it like triaging alerts in a SOC. Each decision matters individually, not cumulatively. Trust your preparation. All your study and practice have built your ability. Do not overthink. The CAT engine rewards consistent, confident answers, not hesitation. Always choose the best answer, even if it's not perfect, and move on. Remember, you can't backtrack. Think of it like incident response. Make the most informed decision with the information at hand, then proceed. Stay steady, stay confident, and let the CAT engine do its job. Here are the key takeaways for mastering the CISSP CAT exam. Remember, CAT measures your ability, not just the number of correct answers. Difficulty matters more than quantity. Tackle challenging questions strategically. Your time management, mindset, and risk-based thinking are what truly drive success. The CISSP CAT is not your enemy. It's a precise evaluator of your professional competence. Stay calm, think like a leader, and manage risk in every answer. In short, CISSP success equals knowledge plus discipline plus calm.